Welcome to HealthWatch, presented by Novant Health. I'm your host, June Baker. We have a really exciting show for you today. We're here on location at Novant Health Neurosciences Institute, New Hanover. Now, this is a new facility in Wilmington, and it's going to provide care to individuals from across the region. Today's show is going to focus on neurosciences topics, and we're happy to learn more about this beautiful facility from our guests. Our guests today include Lori Whalen, Carrie Lamb, and Hannah Betancourt. So stay tuned to HealthWatch to learn more. First, let's welcome Lori Whalen, the Chief Operating Officer of Novant Health New Hanover Regional Medical Center. Lori, thank you so much for coming on today. I know you've been on a few times, but I'm always so happy to have you.
Me too. It's great to be back, June. Thank you for having us today.
That's awesome. Well, this is an exciting show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's talk about your role at New Hanover. Or with Novant Health, I should say, Novant Health New Hanover Regional Medical Center. Tell me about your role.
Absolutely. As you announced, so I am the Chief Operating Officer, and so what that means is I'm responsible for a lot of the non-nursing clinical and support services that it takes to run a hospital. I'm also responsible for our oncology and neurosciences institutes within the market, and then eventually will be the president of our future Scotts Hill Hospital.
And when will that happen?
That is likely end of 2025, beginning of 2026. So
you're going to be a very busy lady.
Yep, be here before we know it.
But you like being busy, so.
That is right.
Well, we're really excited to be at this facility. It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. This is the Novant Health Neurosciences Institute, New Hanover.
Correct.
That's right. I know a lot goes into bringing a facility like this online. Tell me a little bit about that process. How did we get here?
Yeah, well, for this is a little bit of an understatement, June. So this really has been a labor of love. So this planning for this building started greater than 5 years ago. And originally this was planned as a replacement for our orthopedic hospital. And then if you all remember, a little something called Hurricane Florence came along and actually did some significant damage to this building. The silver lining in that, though, it really gave us an opportunity to relook at our plans and decide what did this space really need to be. So at that time, really, orthopedics is really moving more outpatient, and the campus of NHRMC was really becoming more tertiary care. And so that allowed us to reimagine this space to one of our fastest growing service lines, which is neurosciences.
What a great thing this is going to be for our folks here locally. How do you see that helping our community? What is this going to do for our community members with certain ailments that need neurosciences?
Oh, absolutely. In no uncertain terms, this is going to positively impact the health of communities for years and generations to come. Not only will we have access to life-saving care for stroke and aneurysm treatment, but also subspecialized care for things like as MS, movement disorder, and patients will no longer have to leave the region to seek that care.
I never even thought about MS because there's such a need for that, and there's just not a lot of resources here.
Absolutely.
Till now.
So we are very excited.
Beautiful space here. I hate to ask how much it costs, but what was the overall investment in this facility?
So the original building was close to almost $100 million when we built it. And then to reimagine it into the neurosciences space, it was about an additional $28 million. So we're looking north of $120 million for this new facility. Wow,
that's a huge investment. And I know you started on it long before you came on board with Novant Health. So when that happened, was that of benefit to you in this facility?
It really only accelerated the plan. The partnership has really allowed us to bring some new technology for our operating suites. They are state of the art. Hopefully you'll get a chance to see them. But new technology, video cameras throughout. It also helped us to bring new technology and bring and expand our epilepsy monitoring unit.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Which is a huge need in our region, particularly in the pediatric world. And then really just in logistics planning. So to pull off a move like this and to really start open it and put patients is a lot of work. And Novant Health has a dedicated logistics team. And so we are so excited to be partnering with them to open this.
Wow. I'm just so blown away with the decor and the views and the, I mean, I can see all over Wilmington from up here. So I know that you were part of this for many years. And what do you think now as you see it with patients and it's come to fruition? What are your thoughts? What goes through your mind?
Yeah, I'm just truly blessed and to be a part of this team. And this building, the services provided, is really the vision of the neuro team in addition with the physicians, and it's their dream and that made it a reality. And so when I sit, I'm just so grateful to be part of such a fantastic team. And then really I'm just thrilled. There's really not words to describe how excited I am for our region to have these services here.
I bet not only you, but all the board members and people behind the scenes and the staff, and I can't imagine, it affects so many people.
So many, the list goes on and on. Yeah. Every single member that was a part of this should be proud.
I want to talk a little bit about the providers because of course there's this great facility and sometimes patients need that inpatient care, but once they leave here and they're in the outpatient world, what plans have you made and how have we grown our staff our physician staff in order to care for all of these patients?
Absolutely. We are in a very unique place in our community. So our neuro practice that's part of Novant Health is really, you don't see the kind of subspecialization that you see here except for in the big academic medical centers.
Yeah,
and so our group really early on said this is what they want to make it under the guidance of Dr. Matt Kalp, who helped bring that to fruition. And so we have headache specialists, MS specialists, movement disorders. We're just bringing on our new neurocritical care physicians, and then we're partnering with our neurosurgeons in the community to bring another endovascular neurosurgeon, which is really for that stroke and aneurysm as well as brain tumors.
Wow. I know recruitment has been very, very busy as I'm involved in a lot of that. And it's just like every day there's another candidate looking to come to Wilmington.
And who wouldn't want to come here?
I know, who wouldn't want to work here? It's fabulous. So I applaud you for thinking ahead and thinking about the number of physicians we're going to need to take care of all the patients that we're going to be able to service in this area.
Absolutely. We partner with our medical group to really look 5 and 10 years out.
Right.
So what is the population growth going to be? What are the medical needs? And we start planning today for 5 and 10 years.
Well, it was a good thing you did that because we're here and we're open and it's a busy day. So tell me what you would like to say to the community about neurocare here. Can they be comfortable? Can they know that everything that needs to be here is here for us?
100%. I want the community to know that they do not have to leave our region for the specialized care. The level of medical care in our community just exponentially jumped with the opening of this Neuroscience Institute. And this is something really the entire community and region should be proud of.
Yeah, so we have the facility and we have the physicians and the staff to really make this an exemplary facility.
Absolutely.
For years to come.
For years to come.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for being with us today, Laura. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Same, June. Thank you for all your help and really bringing this information to the community.
It's my pleasure. And hope to see you again when we open the next tower, whatever that is, Laurie.
Always. Thank you, June.
Thank you. Now let's welcome Carrie Lamb, Neuroscience Administrator for the Novant Health New Hanover Regional Medical Center. Carrie, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. I know how busy you guys are.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm really, really excited to learn about this facility. First of all, I have to tell you, it's absolutely beautiful. And if you had even one little piece of it to be responsible for. You did a great job.
Well, thank you. It's certainly been a team effort.
It's gorgeous. You've been involved in the planning for quite a few years, is that correct?
That is correct. It's been a journey.
Yeah, Laurie told us about how it started and then progressed into this. So tell me a little bit about your background and what your role is here at Novant Health New Hanover Regional Medical Center.
Sure. Well, my journey with Novant Health New Hanover Regional Medical Center starts nearly 20 years ago.
Good.
I started here as a respiratory therapist.
Really?
And pretty soon after I started, I decided that I was going to follow a leadership route. So somewhere along my journey, I was the director for respiratory care and neurodiagnostics. And that tie to neurodiagnostics was my first link to neurosciences. And sort of as my career went on, this neuro part of the work started to grow. We started adding more and more programs and adding additional providers and services. And a few years ago, it became pretty clear that we needed to really establish neurosciences as a service line and have an identity for it and a leader for that service line. So I was fortunate enough to be given the option and the opportunity to lead this team and the service line, and so that's my role today. I get to be a part of an amazing team and oversight of all the programs and services that we offer here.
Well, it is truly a gorgeous place, but I know that Laurie and I talked about how we've added so many physicians to staff this Neurosciences Institute facility. So it's a big job now. You've really taken on a big job here. So let's start with an overview of the facility. So how many inpatient rooms do you have here?
We have 106 inpatient rooms and over 100,000 square feet of physical space. So it is an absolute beautiful facility, and all of those 106 beds are dedicated to patients with neuro-type disease and illness.
All of them. Well, how many floors does it occupy?
The Neuro Institute is a 5-story building, and we have services that include neurocritical care, neuro step-down unit, which is sort of an intermediate level of care, and a dedicated stroke unit. And we also have a floor that's dedicated to caring for patients recovering from brain surgery or spinal surgery, and another floor that's dedicated to caring for patients with all sorts of neurological diseases and illnesses like Parkinson's, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis. So yeah, we've got a lot of options for patients here.
How do you see this facility and this new institute benefiting patients? What do you see the patients getting from this?
Well, there's a lot of ways that patients will benefit. First, right down to the neuro operating rooms. If a patient needs to come in for surgery, we have some of the most state-of-the-art facilities and equipment that's really going to enable for some precision and enhanced imaging within those suites. And then when they get to the floor, whether they need neurocritical care or step-down level of care or just general care, all of that can take place on one floor. So streamlining the patient's experience with offering all of the services on one area. And of course, our Neuro Institute is staffed by a lot of specialists. We have a dedicated team of neurohospitalists, neurointensivists, neurosurgeons, and specially trained nurses and support staff. So the patients are going to benefit from just that streamlined patient experience and dedicated team of clinicians.
And they'll no longer have to travel.
That's right. It's an amazing thing for our community and region that we're able to offer all the services within neurosciences that they need right here.
Yeah, right here in their hometown.
Yeah.
And then their families here. That makes so much difference when you're surrounded by people who really care about you, your family, and as well as the nurses. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. I had a child who had neurosurgery when he was in high school, and it was in Cleveland, Ohio, because he was at the Cleveland Clinic, and so we had to travel hours and hours and hours to get there. And I lived at Ronald McDonald House for a long time during that, and that I see as a huge benefit for our citizens of New Hanover County, Brunswick County, Horry County, Columbus County. So I think that's a great thing.
Oh yeah.
So I know you worked on this facility for a very long time, but now that it's open, how do you, are you satisfied? Are you still anxious? Are you still working out the kinks?
No, none of those things. I'm satisfied for sure, more than satisfied. I'd say the biggest feelings are gratitude and just excitement. I mean, it's definitely been a team effort to get to this place. It's taken a lot of focus and planning and working together, and so just grateful to be a part of it.
I'm curious what the doctors are saying, the surgeons, the neurosurgeons, and all the folks who work here. Are they happy about it?
They're so happy. It's palpable. You know, we've done tours through the space during different phases of the construction, and seeing the physicians and the team members excited about the space, and it's just it's very exciting getting to this place where now they get to work in it, and they get to be part of part of this wonderful thing that we've done, and then just excitement for the community and the patients who will be cared for here. The space itself is beautiful. It has a very healing environment.
It does. It feels so good.
Yes, light and spacious, and the patient rooms are the same way. They're just really light and bright and cheerful. So,
with all of the things that go on here at the facility, and then once the patient is discharged, how do you see this facility complementing our outpatient offerings? You know, all of our outpatient neurologists and what have you. Do you think that's going to be a benefit to them too?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the whole continuum of care starts preventative care or diagnosis and treatment in the clinics, and then the hospital is here for that acute need, and then again the clinics are available for patients after they are discharged for that follow-up care, and again trying to prevent a repeat illness. And we're fortunate here in this community that we have the subspecialization for all the neuro providers, which I know Lori spoke about a little bit, but it is just nice that we've invested in that for the community. So
a lot of places this size of New Hanover County, they don't have all these wonderful facilities and these great physicians, and so we're really fortunate to have that here.
We are. We're very blessed in that aspect.
Well, thank you so much for being on my show today. I've really enjoyed getting to know you and to hear all about this beautiful facility. I hope you'll come back,
and thank you.
We can talk about some of the subspecialties. I'm really interested in the stroke and the ALS program and things like that. So I'd love for you to come back.
Well, perfect. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You're quite welcome. Thank you. Finally, let's welcome Hannah Betancourt, the nurse manager for the stroke unit and neuro ICU. It's really good to have you here today, Hannah. I'm so excited.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Good. Well, first of all, I want you to introduce yourself. Tell us about your role here at New Hanover, at Novant Health New Hanover Regional Medical Center. That's a mouthful.
Yes, it is. My name is Hannah Betancourt. I am the nurse manager of the neurocritical care unit and the step down and stroke unit here. I'm responsible for the daily operations, kind of the daily grind, aligning unit goals with hospital strategic initiatives, and compiling a team of dedicated neuro nurses and assistive personnel to help care for our patients safely and effectively.
You must have been a very busy girl trying to bring this up and get it staffed and open up.
It has been an extremely busy last 6 months. Yes, ma'am.
So I know that this is a specialized unit in that you have regular rooms for neurosciences patients, and then you have an ICU. So tell me about the ICU first. How many beds do you have in ICU?
We have 10 neuro ICU beds.
And kind of what would those be used for? I guess it would be a really critical patient.
Yes, absolutely. We would see a variety of patients suffering from stroke, intracranial hemorrhage, seizure, and even post-op neurosurgical patients as well.
Okay. And then we have the regular neurosciences unit, which is like right next door, right?
Exactly.
So, and those might be some other kind of patient, or have they had surgery, or most of the surgeries go to ICU?
They would also see stroke patients or neurosurgical patients after they've downgraded out of the ICU.
It really just depends on the acuity of the patient, right?
Right, exactly.
Right, as to where they go. And that's something, we haven't had a neuro ICU before, have we?
That is correct.
Yeah, so this is really a big deal for New Hanover County and for the facility here.
Yes.
And I bet our doctors are really happy. Have they been in to see it? And
They've
had some tours. Are they excited?
Yes, they love the space, and it's an incredible opportunity for everyone to come together and care for our patients in this way.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to see the rooms and without a patient, and they're just so big, and there's just so much, and everybody's got this incredible view.
I know, the view is one of the best.
I mean, I want to come here and have dinner. So, after the patients improve enough to leave the ICU, where do they go? Do they go to another unit, or do they go to the lesser acute rooms here?
Yes, typically our patients, once they're downgraded, would go to one of the lesser acute beds, but sometimes our care is so great in the ICU that they could be discharged straight from there.
Really?
Right?
That's amazing. That's amazing. I didn't think that would happen. Well, let's talk about rehab. I guess there's probably a lot of rehabilitation that goes along with a neuro patient.
There is.
Yeah. And so do you start that rehab process here in the facility?
We absolutely do. So on the unit, we actually have a physical therapy gym where
What?
patients, a whole gym with stairs. It's a really nice setup for
Really?
patients to come in and practice before they're discharged home.
So they actually do start their rehab here, and
Yes.
physical therapy comes to the unit. Is that
Yes.
correct? And then after they're discharged from the facility, do they continue the rehab here, or they go to the rehab facility, the outpatient rehab facility?
There are several different ways.
They can do what they want to do.
Yeah, they can set up home health
really?
therapy services. Yes, our case managers work diligently to provide those resources for the patients that are discharged, or they go to a rehab facility.
Wow. Yeah, I guess the stairs is probably a big thing, and just walking in general sometimes. And
It is, and we want to help patients get back to their normal level of functioning as quickly as possible.
yeah. Well, I want to spend some time talking about stroke.
Okay?
So the stroke patients would be on this unit also, right?
Exactly.
And talk to me like you're educating me about somebody having a stroke. What are the signs? What am I going to look for?
Yes, I would love to tell you about signs and symptoms of a stroke. We use the acronym called BFAST.
Okay, tell me how you spell that. Is
B-E-F-A-S-T.
okay, 2 words.
2 words.
But together.
But together.
Okay, so what's a B stand for?
B stands for balance. So if you have sudden loss of balance, that would be a sign of a stroke.
Okay, and E.
E stands for eyes. If you suddenly have loss of vision
Oh, I
in
didn't
one
know
or
that
both
one.
eyes, or blurred vision, that would be a sign of a stroke.
It would?
Yes.
Just that.
Just that.
They might just have the E part.
They could just have the E part.
Wow. Okay, how about F?
F stands for face. If you suddenly see that your face is uneven, you may have your drooping on one or both sides of your face.
Would it be just in this area, or could it be
It could be your eye, the entire side of your face. Most notably,
Is in
the mouth. Right.
Oh, okay. So A.
Well, the A stands for arm. So if you're
What's that got to do with it? Sorry.
if you have sudden weakness in
Oh.
one arm or one leg, that would be a symptom of a stroke.
Okay. And what is the next one? S?
Speech. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
If you suddenly find yourself unable to speak, or your speech is, super slurred, that would be a sign of a stroke.
And the last one is T.
T stands for time, and that's kind of the most important piece of this, although it's not a symptom. Call 911 immediately, because time is brain. The faster you receive treatment, the faster we can get you back to your normal level of functioning.
So should you call 911 or should you put the patient in the car and drive them
You
here?
should never try to drive the patient to the emergency room. You should call 911. They can actually start
The treatment.
in the ambulance.
I'm going to tell you a little story. My husband, we were driving home from church one day on a Sunday, and I was actually driving, and thank God, and I asked him a question, and he didn't answer me. And I said it again, and he still didn't answer me, and I looked at him, and he was looking at me, but he couldn't talk. Yes, and so I just took him to the emergency room, which I know is the wrong thing to do.
Right.
He was already in the car. I didn't realize that they could start treatment in the ambulance or in the, if you called 911. I didn't realize that part. And so that's a very important message to get
Yes.
out now, because I didn't realize that, and I drove him there, but fortunately it was in time and everything resolved. It was fine. But yeah, you just need to pay attention, because I didn't even think that because he didn't answer me, I thought he didn't hear me.
Yeah.
Because he never listens to me anyway. So, so no, I didn't mean that. But yeah, that is a very important piece, is call 911 if you suspect that someone's having a stroke.
Absolutely.
So tell me, how do you feel about this? Are you comfortable in the new facility? Do you love it? And is it going to be easy for the nurses? Have we really thought about the way we laid it out? And
Yes, we are very comfortable here. The layout is extremely functional, and we did work on onboarding and training a fully staffed team dedicated to these neuro patients. So we are very comfortable here.
speaking of fully staffed, tell me how is the staffing? Are we staffed accordingly?
We are staffed accordingly to care for these patients. Yes.
That is awesome to hear. I know
Yes.
there's been a lot of stuff said about not having enough staff, and I want to make sure that our community knows that we have plenty of nurses to take care of these patients.
Yes, I had a lot of support prior to the opening to go ahead and get people in and trained and hire enough to be able to open the unit, not just using the existing people we already had.
Yeah, and I'm sure the doctors are really, really happy with the layout, and it gives them something special to.
They love having their kind of own space up here.
And you have your own operating rooms up here, is that correct?
That's right, we have 4 neuro-dedicated operating rooms.
And they're right here, so there's not a lot, you don't have to go everywhere all over this hospital, and it's so big.
That's right, no, right here.
It's all big. So 4 ORs dedicated to neurosurgery.
That's right, and also 2 dedicated neurointerventional radiology suites.
Oh, wow. And that's right here.
All right here.
Wow, that is awesome. You don't find that.
That's right.
You don't find that many places. So, well, I want to thank you so much for being here today. You've given us some great information. I wish you the best of luck. And you have a great, beautiful facility. I know you're
you.
proud of it. And we hope to keep getting the word out about the great care that's provided here, and you no longer have to travel.
Yes, thank you for having me today.
You're quite welcome. Thank you for tuning in to HealthWatch. I hope this information was beneficial for you and your family. To learn more about the services provided by Novant Health, please visit our website at novanthealth.org. So be sure to join us next time for HealthWatch.
Wireless from Focus Broadband has something for everyone. The go-getters, the tech gurus, the night owls, and the wanderers. When you go wireless with Focus Broadband, you're connected to the nation's largest, most reliable 5G network, backed by award-winning local customer service. Now get unlimited talk, text, and data for as low as $40 a month per line with a Focus Unlimited 5G plan. Wireless from Focus Broadband. We're focused on you.